Hey everybody, Reef Girl here. So we have to change the plumbing on this aquarium, and it's an emergency. When this was designed, we didn't even consider the possibility that all of these 90-degree angles might cause problems with gunk collecting. And it was fine for almost a year until I ran into the problem with the white slime. This spot here was the worst. It was so plugged up, probably an airline tube wouldn't even have fit through the gap that was left for water to go through, and that's the main overflow. So it was a problem. We looked at all of our options and decided we had to do something about it. This side is designed to come apart in pieces so it can be cleaned, and it's not a problem. I've done that already a couple of times. So this side is going to stay the way it is, and I'll just keep cleaning it out and hoping someday I won't be dealing with white slime anymore. So we decided to take the drastic step of changing the plumbing for the overflow and replacing the hard plumbing with a flexible hose. This decision was not taken lightly, let me tell you. We're going to put another joint into the bulkhead that's on the tank and then completely remove all of the hard piping, and we're going to get the clear hose and replace it and go straight down to the sump. And here's the piece that we're going to screw right into the bulkhead that's already on the tank. There's a piece of green tubing sticking out the top. That's in a hole. We drilled the hole for air access to maintain the flow, and we're going to cut the other pipe off the tank. So next step is going to be to stop the flow and cross our fingers and hope that this actually works. Okay, the return pump is now shut off, and we're flipping up the overflow to maintain the water in the tank. And also, because we have to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, when we get out the hacksaw and start cutting off that pipe. It's the only way to get it off. No going back now. We're starting to cut into the pipe, and it's rigid plumbing, so the whole tank is moving a little bit. So let's just hope that we can get this piece off without wrecking anything. Alright, now the trick is to get this piece of pipe off without putting any pressure on the bulkhead, because we don't want that to leak. So it's coming away pretty well. And then the next step is to remove the white piece and unscrew that from the bulkhead without rotating the bulkhead, because once again we will end up with a leak. Bulkhead.
And hope that the other connection is the same threads. And hope that the other connection is the same threads. And they are.
Yay! So here's the new hose. It's going to get clamped on now securely, and so we don't end up with any water leaks there. And this hose goes straight down and travels into the sump. So it comes out in roughly the same area it was before. And now for the moment of truth. Put the overflow down and see what happens, whether we have a leak or what. There is water going through the hose, and there's also water popping up out of that little blue tube. So we have to do something about that. Obviously the water pressure is a little too much for how short that elbow is. So probably have to replace that blue tube with something a little longer to keep the water actually in the hose. But so far so good. So we took a chance on taking a hacksaw to the plumbing, and this temporary solution is working very well. When I get the bigger tank, of course, this will become a quarantine system, so this is only temporary, and it allows me to clean out the entire hose. All I have is these two spots at the top to worry about if I get more white slime. So the answer to the little blue tube being too short was to take a feeding pipette, cut the bulb end off, and put the other end into the hole in the top of the elbow. And it's working perfectly. So what did we learn from all of this? Well, number one was if you're going to have hard plumbing, make damn sure you can take it apart for cleaning if it gets clogged. If white slime comes along to your tank and you have 90-degree angles everywhere, you're going to be in trouble if you can't take those things apart and get brushes through them and clean them out. We got lucky. It could have gone so bad, but the parts that we were able to buy fit properly, and the hose is exactly what I was hoping for. I can see it. I can see when it's starting to get clogged, when there's slime building up, and I can get right on top of it and clean it. I was ready with the frag racks. I thought I might have to move all of this coral, or as much of it as possible, over to my 29-gallon cube. If we had not been able to do this, it would have been a whole other story trying to figure out a way to solve this problem. It was a very quick fix in the end, and we're very lucky that it actually worked out. And I say we because my husband really helps me with this stuff. There's no way I could do this on my own, and I'm so glad that his experience and his thought process goes into this as well, because between the two of us we can figure most of this out. We should have just done a little more research into how to design overflow plumbing so that it could come apart if necessary. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. It was scary for me to go through this, but if this helps somebody or if it provides an alternative, then I'm really glad about that. I don't know why we didn't do this in the first place.